Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was giving remarks today on Sunday, and he was asked about whether or not he would bring the House back into session to vote on more disaster relief and more funding for FEMA. And he said it can absolutely wait until after the election when they return on November 12th. Remember, Congress is on recess now through November 12th as they are out on their election recess where they're wrapping up their campaigns in the final weeks trying to sway any voters they can. He said it can absolutely wait, that FEMA doesn't need any more money right now. They have enough to last until then. But FEMA Director Deanne Criswell has said they've spent about half of the $20 million that was allotted to FEMA from that continuing resolution they passed in September because of the disasters of these two hurricanes and how much area was affected, etc., that they've already spent like $9 billion out of the $20 billion they were allotted. But Mike Johnson says, no, that's okay. We can wait until November and pass more funding. Well, there's a couple problems with that. MAGA Republicans are already mad at Mike Johnson for not doing enough to shut the government down with that continuing resolution, not getting their priorities for the SAVE Act included on the continuing resolution, and working with Democrats and keeping the government open. There was talk when that passed about potentially using their ability to vacate the chair and ousting Mike Johnson after they return from their election recess, depending on what happens in the election. So there's a scenario where if the Republicans lose as bad as I think they're going to lose, that as kind of a final dig, they could strip Mike Johnson of the speakership, not be able to reach a consensus to get anybody else, and grind the government to a halt until January 3rd, when the new Congress would convene and there would be a new speaker. Mike Johnson is trying to obstruct this, not because he thinks that he's going to lose his job or whatever, but they want something to run on. They want to attack the Biden administration and by extension Kamala Harris over the disaster relief efforts from these two hurricanes and show how bad it's going and stuff, and lay the blame at the feet of the Biden administration, and like I said, by extension Kamala Harris. However, they are being hamstrung by Congress not doing their job because Congress has to pass the law to spend the money. All funding has to start in Congress. But they don't want you to believe that. It's just like the border bill, that bipartisan border bill that was negotiated and was going to pass Congress. Donald Trump said, no, don't do that. I want to run on immigration. So they killed the border bill. It didn't happen. And now they're campaigning on how bad immigration is when, 5-6 months ago, there was a bipartisan border plan in place that could have been passed. And they said, no, we're not going to pass that. But, oh, look, something needs to be done about the border. We could have done something, we didn't. But now we want to blame Joe Biden and the Democrats and Kamala Harris for how bad the border is. They are getting nothing done. They need to do something. We need to make sure that they are not in power after January 3rd when the new Congress takes over. They're not serious about governing. They're not serious about helping people. They only want things and issues to run on and to make the Democrats look bad at this point.